Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Detonation. We have John back again, another Art Sunday. I love Art Sundays. Art Sundays are great days. Uh, art's such a fascinating topic. I mean, there's so much to talk about. So we always love to have you back on over and over again, John.
All right, so thank you for having me.
No problem. So just a reminder: the clock in the corner is the countdown to the end of the Transhumanist Party membership deadline, and then after that you can't register anymore. The lady is what we've been talking about. This is VR art, okay, people. So this is virtual painting. So she's going to be doing some virtual painting for us while we talk about some issues. And one of the big issues in the news cycle, Brexit. I mean, it's huge. It's a geopolitical issue. It's had the whole United Kingdom on edge for a long time now. We've had Theresa May. Now we're going to have Boris Johnson and the MOG. So we'll try and see what happens with that. It's a big geopolitical consequence, but it shakes up these financial markets. It massacres these financial markets. It moves these markets. It changes them around. And John, you're an art expert. It has been rocking the art market massively. Tell us what's going on in the art market. What's happening to all my art stored in London over there?
So yeah, as I've mentioned in the previous videos and stuff, and in the art market, America is leading, but China and British they're being fighting for the second spot. So and in the previous video, I mentioned that if British want to catch up to it, they need to do a lot of climbing up to do, and they have to overcome a lot of obstacles. Brexit being one of them. In a recent report, we found out that the Sotheby's has the sales have been dropped 10% during the first half of 2019. Is Brexit to blame? Well, there are uncertainties that are related to Brexit. So from January to the end of June 2019, the auction house sold 3.1 billion of art. The auction included the Monet's Mules, sold for 110.7 million in the New York in May. The total of the an auction sale is 2.6 billion, which about 8.7% down compared to 2018. And private sales accumulated between 511 million, also, which is down 6%. Not just the Sotheby's, they're having problems with their sales. Their rival, Christie's, they auction off around 2.8 billion of art in the first half of 2019, which dropped to 22% compared to last year.
Mm.
Even though the revenues was down from Sotheby, they gained a lot in commission. The commission reported in 2018 was 14%, and now is 16%. During the first half of 2018, it was 15%, and the first half of 2019 grew 2% of it. Also, the net worth of Sotheby's is steadying 57 million compared to last year 57.3 million. Well, this growth were due to the guarantee sales. The guarantee sales are, if you put it lightly, they're going to sell out. So they're popular, people want it, they're going to go sell. So the guarantee sale painting in 2018, the two paintings that sold were Amedeo Modigliani's the nude, and the Picasso Beste Femelle de Profil. The transaction of this painting reduced the auction commission by 1.4% and 1.1%. So with these numbers, what does Ted Smith, the CEO of Sotheby, think of the numbers? Well, he said that he's very proud of the performance that their company is doing, the Sotheby is doing at the first half of 2019. and they remain focused on serving their global clients. So Sotheby's shares increased 48% since the beginning of the year. The shares has hit 58.90% and increase 58.90 dollar and increase of 13% compared to last year. So with these numbers like dropping and like gaining a lot of commissions, like they need to overcome the obstacles if they want to catch up to it.
Absolutely, and John, as we always say, thank you so much for your valued research into this. This is really important stuff. It's news that you're not going to get anywhere else, and you're doing a lot of research on this. So thank you so much. So basically, it's down across the board because of Brexit. That's what you're saying. The all these auction houses are struggling.
Yes, they're selling like less and less of like dollar, and it's because of Brexit, and people don't want to like cashing in because like they're gonna lose a couple of money or not. So because of that, what's Brexit is happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So this part here, the gross were due to a guaranteed sale of paintings in 2018. These two paintings were the Amendio Mondingandi's The Nude and Picasso's Bunti di Ferme di Profil. My pronunciation is terrible, or if not worse than yours. You did a great job on these. The transaction of these paintings reduced the auction commission by 1.4 and 1.1%. That's startling because the art world is only used to increases. Like, this is the thing. People put their money in art like they put their money in real estate, because usually they're only ever going up because they're betting against the value of fiat currency. So if you were going to invest in art, if I gave you $1 million right now, what would you be buying in the art world? What would you be buying?
I'll probably buying a lot of like personally, I'll be buying a lot of like unpopular items, because like for me these paintings are, yes, they're really expensive and they're really popular, but it's like they're like that top 1% of like what the people want to do. For example, if I want to compare it, it will be mainstream. So this is what people know. So they'll be like, oh yeah, I know Picasso, I know Leonardo. So they will be buying. But for me, as a artist, I'll probably look more towards other artists that breaking through the barrier of their painting, their photography, and their meanings toward our the social. And
because I know you're an expert in photography, would you be you'd be buying photographs, right?
yes, I would, yeah,
Because you know the value of the photographs.
because like it's like the person who, for a photo, it's not just a photo, it's like the time the person put into it. They travel around the world, they're trying to capture that specific moment in the world, and they're trying to share it with people, and with their talent and with their skills, they put into it. So I'll probably buying photographies.
So if you went to Britain right now, do you think, like you just told us, that the market is falling by at least 10%? Oh, the drop in sales is falling by at least 10% in the UK because of Brexit. So that would mean Brexit. It's a good time to buy. I mean, it's cheaper. So would you go to the UK and buy some photos? And if so, would you? I mean, or any photo? What type of photo would you be buying? Have you got any specific pieces that you would be buying right now?
For the photo, what I'm into it is I'm into kind of like a landscape and kind of abstract photos. So I'll probably buy those. But as you say, the painting, if you want because of the sales are down, if you want the really like high-end paintings such as like well, Leonardo and Picasso or Van Gogh, like Van Gogh for example, yeah, I'll go for it because it's like, you know, the sales are down.
Yeah, you're gonna get a
And
little bit of a discount.
oh yeah, like you might end up with like the famous painting in your house.
Yeah, that's true. What's your favorite photograph, by the way? I've never asked you that. What is your favorite photograph?
Oh, I got. It's like asking like, what's your favorite movie? It's like
I don't watch many movies, so that's quite easy for me. Sorry, but yeah.
oh no, it's alright. Anything that like that involve landscape and kind of like a romanticism, like kind of got a feel to it. And I'll probably yeah, those are the type of like surrealism photography and black and white, and I'll probably yeah, those are the one that I go for.
Talk about surrealism. What makes a good surrealist photo? What's the definition of a good surrealist photo? What do you find aesthetically pleasing about a surrealist photo?
For me, it's like when I take kind of like, for me it's simplicity. It's like just a black and white photo, and then it kind of like it gives you like a dream world, kind of like a dream world in a reality. So like you can create like a, for example, a slow shutter speed shot. It kind of like creates like aesthetic, like a romanticized and like a, and kind of like a bright, you know, kind of like a bright photography photo, and then it just like if you if you look at the painting Christine's World, that's the kind of like the subject and all the subject and the foreground and the background, and that creates such a like kind of like a dream world.
That's very nice. So yeah, so photos. What do you find? For me personally, now this is just me. I find war photos fascinating because that's in
Yes.
action. The naked girl in Vietnam running around, that's dramatic. You know, anything to do with those sort of geopolitically charged political photos, I find personally fascinating. Do you find those photos compelling?
Those, yes, I do. It's to show the people and to show the government of like what's the social stuff that being happening around the world, and what sort of like if one person decides, and then the other might have a opposite opposite consequences to it, and then this is like these photos documented and show the people of like, this is what's happening, this is the result of this, and this is the result of that. So the pictures tell 1,000 words. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing I find great about those is usually the person, and I'm not saying this is just me again. This is just me being me, but the person usually has a good story to go with that as well because they went to a war zone.
Yes.
Even for a lot of the transhumanists around here, they would know that Zoltan Itzvan was a pretty much a war photographer before he almost stepped on a landmine. So Zoltan Itzvan is in that category. They have a great story behind them of why they wanted to go to some war zone in the first place, and then it all sort of goes from there. So that's why I find it's not necessarily the photo as per se, it's the whole story that involves it. But I'm assuming that that's with every photo. I just do not have the expertise or the eye to appreciate that as much as you would.
It's like a war photography is kind of like a kind of a sub genre, should I say? It's kind of like um to like a landscape photography to a portrait photography. Like war photography can be a documentary as well as like a journalist, like photojournalism. So it has its own pros and cons, and it has its own art value, and it has its own meaning. guess. So it depends. It depends on the persons that view it.
That's awesome. All right, so let's move on to the Seesaw at Trump's wall, because I know you really want to talk about this. Something we've got the lady, by the way. She's doing the VR art where we've been talking about. We've been projecting this and predicting this on the show that this would happen. That would all go VR eventually, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. But I mean, she's doing a good job here. But let's go to Trump's wall. So, what else is happening around the world that involves artists?
Well, it's like about 5 days ago, there was kind of like a surreal and like a thought-provoking event took place at the U.S.-Mexico border, separating El Paso, Texas, and Juarez, Mexico. This moment, like thought-provoking event was children from both sides of the countries playing and laughing together on the 3 neon bright pink seesaw installed at the border wall by 2 artists, architecture artists. This event was, of course, it's an art project titled Tita Torta Wall. The event took only half an hour before the installation was taken down. This event kind of symbolizes the unification of both country through children's laughter and smiles of the citizens of both countries that partook in in this art project. Meaning, the children and people go on to the seesaw and have a play and enjoying the moment of both countries, citizens separated by the wall. Yeah.
So this is a nice act of unification on a human level, demonstrated through the medium of art.
Yes, that is correct.
So who are the artists who are responsible for this project?
So the art project was a collaboration between Ronald Rail and Virginia San Fratello. Ronald Rail is a researcher in the architectural field. He's a design entrepreneur and thought leader in 3D modeling and earthing architecture. He got 2 popular books under his belt. One is Earth Architecture, and the other is 2017 Border Wall as Architecture. In this book include reimagining of the sketches and design proposal of the wall. So it's taking it to the level extreme. So if the wall went up, what will happen? So having a Tita Torta like seesaw is one of those things at the wall we'll have seesaws, and at the wall we'll have a kind of a restaurant, separated by the wall. And he also a co-founder of Emerging Objects. They specializes in 3D printing, building components, and environment and products. So another artist involved is Virginia San Fratello. She's a graduate with Masters in Architecture degree at Columbia University in the city of New York. She held a position at the academic faculty at the Southern California Institute for Architecture, Clemson University, and University of California, Berkeley. Her work has been in a lot of popular magazines, such as the New York Times, Wired, Mark, Domus, Metropolis magazine, and Praxis, and a lot of popular name museum, such as MoMA, has taken in her work, and the Copper Hewitt Smithsonian Design Museum. She specialized in as well 3D printing of building materials and using ecological materials for her building designs, because she's believing that we live in the world of consumerism, and we take and we throw out, and we take a lot of energy and we waste a lot of energy, and that causes having a global warming and stuff. So what she done is she using those geo kind of eco-friendly materials like 3D printing into incorporating into our buildings. So when you build, she's gonna use the material project where you can actually grow plants and stuff. rather than using like what we have now. So she as a designer, she thought as well that the designers of the architectures need to change their mindset about the interior design and the purpose of it. She recently won the International Interior Design Educator of the Year in 2014. So both of these artists created a creative practice called Rail San Fratello, and they were named Emerging Voice of the Architectural League of New York.
Wow, that's fascinating. They got into Mona, which is in Tasmania, which is a fantastic institution.
MoMA.
MoMA, right? That's what
Yeah.
you said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there a few times because my parents are in Tasmania, and I went to Mona, and yeah, it was awesome.
Like MoMA, as in Museum of Modern Art. I think it's in America.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well. Anyway, I went to the one in Tasmania, and that was good too, by some private thing. It was great as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. But modern art, all right, understood. That's probably in New York somewhere then. Definitely. No, that's cool. So let's talk about this just quickly. I want to touch on something. So this is interesting. So she's eco-friendly, right?
Sure is, yes.
So
Both of them are eco-friendly, and they use their 3D printing, and they 3D printed out like building materials, and yes.
Is this an emerging trend with artists where they involve these social issues and they build them into their art? I mean, obviously, historically, art and social issues are one in the same, aren't they?
Yeah, that's when the art and politics comes in, because it's like politics do something, the artists they react, and then they made a piece out of it, and then the people looked at it, and then that's when the people like they voice out, and they say to the government, say like, like, right, this is like unacceptable, and this is blah blah blah, and then the political change, and then artists make another like another art piece. So it's kind of like a circle, like a full circle.
People live and die by their flag, and what is a flag? Essentially, a piece of artwork, right?
Yes, it's a piece of it's a design.
So exactly. So art is extremely powerful in ways that people don't understand. That impacts their consciousness. So being environmentally friendly, yes, it's becoming. Would you say it's becoming a wider adopted stratagem?
Being eco-friendly, I think it's a trend coming into like since 2019. So a lot of people have a voice about it, and going eco, like going green.
I mean, the only eco-friendly sort of long-term eco-friendly people I can think about in the photography world would be Nat Geo and people like that, right? Because they've always cared about nature. That's why they go out and photograph trees and rocks and plants and animals and things.
Yeah. National, yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's part of their business model to appreciate nature as it is, and I mean photograph it and stuff, but in a way they're eco-activists, right, by definition.
Yes, in a way as well, like before you mentioned like the war photography, right? In a way, these Net Geo, they're saying like, look people, this is what's happening, right? This is the proof, and what are you gonna do about it? It's kind of like that. Yes, the pictures will look pretty and stuff, but still,
War photography is Nat Geo with people. That's what that is. Instead of animals, photographing people. So John, out of the otherworldly ideas for an art, out of all the other ideas for an art project, why did they choose the Seesaw out of all the things they could have done?
Well, I think they made a good choice, like picking out like the Seesaw. But if you look at a Seesaw, it's like also it's like if it's like a balance thing. It's something goes up, and that they have a equal and opposite reaction. So one person goes up, the other person goes down, and then the person goes up, then the other person goes down. So it's kind of like a symbolism, and kind of like a saying. It's like saying, like, if one side of the country made a decision, and it will have a different impact on the other side of it. So they're saying that, and I think it is a perfect vehicle of message carrying piece, choosing Seesaw. And also the reason is pink. It's to commemorate the violent killings of women in Juarez, Mexico, where thousands of women has been killed since 1993. And also it's bright pink. It's like neon pink against the dull colored wall. So it's to grab attention to people, and it's what they did, and they made it work, and a lot of people saw it, and yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for bringing us that news. In the brief moments we have left, I just want to talk about this woman and her art down here going around on the screen. What do you? I find this fascinating. This is conceptually mind blowing. This sort of art that's going on down here. Do you think there could be a merger of this kind of unique art perspective and the photography world? Is there a way they could cross over here?
So you're saying crossover with the VR painting and like VR photography?
Because the photography has been under a bit of stress. I mean, there's a lot of cameras around the world. We've been over that in prior episodes. So there's so many photos. But now there's also new forms of art. I mean, obviously photography is nothing. It used to be a new form of art, but it doesn't shy away from new forms of art. It's survived hundreds of different changes in art. Do you think that VR art and the photography world will be able to find a happy home?
I think if they collaborate it, yes, because it's like photography as well. If you look at a photo, it's a 2D picture, and painting as well. It's a 2D, but with the VR coming in, which gives you a chance to walk through the world of the artist, and what's the artist conveying the message for. So you can fully embrace it, and you can fully immerse yourself in their world. Yes. You've hit the nail on the head here. This is what I'm trying to talk about. So these people are going to keep building these worlds, and these worlds, like Minecraft, it used to be a joke. It used to be nothing. Now there's whole worlds of Minecraft with amazing structures and buildings and cities and all sorts of things going on in Minecraft. Soon people will be able to walk through these worlds, and there'll be a plethora of worlds, and someone might be able to just go through and take photos of different angles and interpretations of people's worlds that they thought, they didn't see before. Like in nature produces different angles, different lights, shading, colors, etc. These people will accidentally do that as well. Do you think so? Yeah. So one day it's like you're saying that you go into the world and you take pictures, and then
from angles that people didn't expect from their own creations.
Right. Yes, I can see that happening as well. It's like because it's like this is art, but like it's not related help, but like there's a VR chat where people goes in, and then it's like in the VR room, and it's where you can take pictures in the VR chat. So it's what you said. It's like it's happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If people have a VR headset and they have a VR room and or VR chat, and they in there you can take pictures, you can talk to people. So it's happening.
Because this lady down the bottom here, she's painting this physically, so she's a very talented, skilled person because she can actually do this. But an algorithm or an AI or something like that will be able to generate these worlds huge, massive worlds. I mean, absolutely massive. And the only thing left to do in some of these worlds will be to play with them. And that's what I think photography will take on a whole new meaning. Again, not just in space, not just under the water, not here on the land, which is sort of coming to the end, I think, in a little way. But in these new spaces, I think photography is going to take on a whole new meaning and a whole new life. That's my interpretation, because I like photography. You're an expert of photography. What do you think?
Yeah, so like turning into a VR, for example, like the extinct the Tasmanian tiger, and if you turn it into a VR, you can actually walk into it. You can stand next to it, and then like you said, you can take within the VR, you can take a photo of it, and then you can see how the actual scales, and you can stand next to it. So yes, I think yes, I agree.
All right, awesome. So, is there anything else you would like to say before we finish?
So previous video, you said we talk about the Uncle Sam poster, and you said if I know the artist of it, and I said no. But the artist, it's called James Montgomery Flagg. He's a illustrator as well as the oil and water painter. He worked in monochrome, halftone reproduction, and he made approximately 46 posters relating to the First War. And then Uncle Sam, I want you poster, it's one of them included. So his name is James Montgomery Flagg.
Artists are very powerful because the Uncle Sam, like we said, the flags are art. Uncle Sam is art, and Obama's hope got him elected. So art is extremely powerful. If people don't recognize that, then that doesn't bother me. I'll utilize it. John, I want to thank you again for coming on Art Sunday. We're going to call it Art Sunday with Johns or something. I don't know. We're getting into a good routine here. Thank you very much for coming on again, and thank you again for that amazing research on the Brexit market. Sounds like everything's getting cheaper. So if you're looking, run in and down to the UK to get some half off art.
So yeah, I'll buy it. Go for it. If you have I don't know, $400 million.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not there yet, so I'll hold off on taking out that loan right now.
Alright, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, John. Thank you very much.